Imagine waking up one day and finding yourself standing in the middle of a massive arena. 50,000 people are screaming not for your name, but for your blood. In front of you stands a muscular gladiator with a sword. Behind you, a starving lion in a cage. No weapons, no armor, and no escape. Welcome to the Colosseum. Welcome to ancient Rome, the empire that ruled the known world, and sometimes crushed its own people. Today, we're going to live an entire day in ancient Rome. You'll eat like a Roman, work like one, and maybe die like one. Let's find out who you would have been: a powerful senator, a poor laborer, a famous poet, a forgotten slave, or just entertainment for the crowd. You are now in Rome, the heart of the Roman Empire, around 100 AD. The city is alive, noisy, crowded, chaotic. 1 million people packed into a city without electricity, without cars, without social media, but with politics, corruption, and a lot of drama. You open your eyes in a tiny room inside a tall wooden apartment block called an insula. If you're poor, this is home. Noisy neighbors, creaking walls, and the constant risk of fire. There's no private bathroom. You use a public toilet. Your water, collected from a fountain in the street. If you're rich, it's a completely different story. You live in a villa, marble floors, private gardens, fountains, dozens of servants, and a feast every night. The sun rises. You don't have a clock, the sun is your schedule. Breakfast, a piece of bread, maybe a bit of cheese or some olives. Then it's after work. If you're a craftsman, a blacksmith, baker, or carpenter, you head to your shop. If you're a soldier, your day starts with training hard, brutal, and disciplined. If you're a slave, you don't get to choose anything. You do what your master tells you. You belong to someone else. Slavery in Rome was common. Some slaves were teachers, philosophers, or doctors more educated than the people who owned them. But they still had no freedom, no rights, and no future. Let's talk education. If you're a boy from a wealthy family, you'd be sent to school learning Latin, Greek, rhetoric, and philosophy. Corporal punishment was normal. Make a mistake, get hit. But if you're a girl, most likely, you'd stay home. Maybe you'd learn how to manage a household. At best, you might learn to read and write if your parents believed in education for women. Marriage could come early, as young as 12 years old. Now, after work, after study, after stress, you want entertainment. Ancient Rome was built for that. You could go to the Circus Maximus, where 150,000 people watch chariot races. You could visit the theater, enjoy poetry, music, and comedy. But the real thrill, the Colosseum. Inside, gladiators fought to the death. Some were slaves. Some were criminals. Some were volunteers chasing fame and fortune. The crowd went wild. Blood on the sand was part of the fun. The emperor might be sitting in the front row, and sometimes he had the final say. Thumbs up. You live. Thumbs down. You die. And it wasn't just men. Sometimes women fought in the arena. Sometimes exotic animals were released to tear prisoners apart for the crowd's amusement. Now, let's talk politics. Rome had laws, senators, debates, even a legal system that influences ours today. But don't let that fool you. Power was in the hands of the elite. If you were poor and stole a loaf of bread, you might be whipped. Or worse, if you were rich and stole public money, you might pay a fine and walk free. Justice wasn't blind. It saw how much money you had. Still, ancient Rome was incredible in many ways. They had straight roads, running water, indoor plumbing, heated baths, postal services, even fast food. You could walk into a market and buy spices from India, silk from China, perfumes from Egypt. Rome was the center of the world, but not everyone lived Rome the same way. One person lived in luxury, another in fear. One was born a senator, another a slave. Your fate, pure chance. So here's the question. If you lived in ancient Rome, who would you have been? A citizen with rights? A gladiator seeking glory? A slave with no future? Or a body in the arena, forgotten after the crowd went home? Let me know in the comments. Would you choose to live in ancient Rome or stay right here in the present? And hey, if you enjoyed this journey through time, give the video a like and subscribe. Next stop, you decide. Should we travel to ancient Egypt, the Islamic Golden Age, or maybe the mysterious Maya civilization? Tell me what you want to explore next, and I'll see you in the next timeline.